This podcast is brought to you in part by PNP Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. All right, everybody, and welcome to the Nintendo Pulse Podcast, episode number 76. If you've been watching live, you got a sneak peek of me doing my chair dance because I hit the button too soon and I didn't stop dancing because I'm an idiot, apparently, like that. All right, as always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, as always, my favorite American, Stephen Munn. Stephen, how the heck are you?
Oh. Thanks, Lloyd. I'm good. Thanks. Doing all right. Doing a lot of gaming.
Yeah, gaming is
Watching
good.
a bunch of Netflix.
Netflix is good too. Hey,
Yes.
do you like Trailer Park Boys? Did you ever watch that?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
It was a Canadian comedy. It was really rude and just terrible, but so awesome. And they just announced this week that it is coming on Netflix. Seasons 8 and 9, which never aired, are going to be coming on Netflix, Canada and the US. So I was pretty happy about that.
That's cool. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, you should watch it. You'd like it. Probably not.
Maybe I would.
Probably
I'm
not.
so backed up on so many shows now, and then I went and started watching another one. So I got to finish the shows I've been watching first.
It's tough. It's easy to tumble down a rat hole of, it's like, oh, here's this series. Oh, I might also like this series. I'll click it. Oh, I might also like this series. Click it. You're like 7-8 links deep, and it's like, okay, how did I get here? But I kind of want to watch this thing that I'm looking at right now. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do that. All right, well, let's get into the show. This is Nintendo Pulse, episode number 76. That's a lot of numbers there, Steven.
It is. That's a lot of shows.
It is very numerous an amount of shows. But let's jump right into the meat of the show. Steven.
I do like meat.
You're not a vegetarian?
No.
Okay, I mean, I'm an omnivore as well. Let's get right into it. Steven, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a lot of stuff, but I think the most important thing I've been playing this week is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I finally beat World 3-2. I got to the game. I started playing the game one evening in the right kind of mood for, the right kind of mood for the to play the game, had the right attitude for it. So I accidentally navigated away from the chat here again. So I had the right attitude to play the game, and I started to really enjoy it. And I got through that, that stage without too much trouble. And then I blew through the rest of that world and beat the boss. And then I blew through World 4 and beat the boss. And now I'm like most of the way through World 5. I think I'm actually at the boss at the end of World 5, if I remember correctly.
Nice.
It's a giant blowfish.
Who is his name? Hootie?
I don't think so.
That is a failed opportunity, if there ever was
Hootie
one.
was the owl, I think.
Oh.
At the end of World 2.
Nice.
No. But yeah, that's so funny. Actually, there's a Hootie and there's a blowfish. I wonder if they're references to each other. Anyway,
maybe they love that that I want to call them a band, but really, were they a band? Were they one song?
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah.
Cool. So, did you read that article that IGN put up? Is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze too hard of a game? Did you read any of that article? Or?
No, I didn't read that, but I'm not surprised that they put it up because I was listening to their Nintendo podcast earlier this week, and one of the guys on there was complaining about how hard the game is, and saying that it's too hard and it's just not fun because it's too hard. And yes, the game is challenging, but I don't think it's to the point of it like not being fun. I think, the way I play games, I kind of have to play them in the right kind of mood. I mean,
sure.
I think I've told you this before, but like if I pick up the controller and I start playing the game and I die and I want to throw the controller, I know it's time to stop playing.
Yeah, totally.
So I can come back to it another day and, die in the game and laugh hysterically, which is what was happening when I was playing it the other day. I got to the this minecart level where I think this was in World 4. Yeah, this had to be in World 4. I'm like on the mine cart and I'm jumping from like piece of track to piece of track where it's broken and I'm like inside a wrecked ship, I think. And all of a sudden it starts throwing sharks at me. Like these sharks start popping up
Nice.
between the gaps. And I'm like jumping the gaps, and then I'm jumping a gap, and the shark comes up, and I smack into the shark. And
Wow.
I was just laughing hysterically because it was so random. It just made no sense to me
So the
for a shark to be there.
so the game's jump the shark is what you're trying to say.
Well, I tried to jump the shark,
Nice.
and yes, but it was, I I don't know. I'd have to read the article, I think, but I don't think it's too hard.
Yeah.
I think it's very challenging. It's not a game that that kids are going to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, people complain about there not being, mature games on the system or whatever. And it's like, this is kind of the equivalent of that. You know what I mean? This is the challenging game you know, that's really hard to play. It's just, maybe it doesn't look like you would expect it to.
And the thing that bothers me, just before we get into that, I don't mind that the game is tough. I I mind that it's tough because my kids can't play it.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothers me about it is Donkey Kong Country has always been kind of like a kid's game. It's not a kid's game, but it kind of a kid's game. It has like super colorful kitty sort of characters. And then to make that the platformer that is really, 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 really difficult seemed like an odd choice. So we'll have to see how that goes, if that damages the franchise at all. Personally, I haven't played much of it yet because I just haven't been in, like you said, the mood to sit there and tear out my hair. And also, it was a game that I originally picked up to play with my kids, and now that I can't do that, I've been doing other things on the weekend, like playing Skylanders and Minecraft and other stuff like that. So, but anyway, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I kind of can't wait to get into it and try to get through some of the levels that were giving me a problem when I first played it. Just because there's so much in the game and it looks so beautiful that I appreciate what it is. Unfortunately, it wasn't exactly what I thought it would be and what I liked. So anyway, what else have you been playing?
Let's see. Bravely Default. I haven't gotten any further in it. I'm still grinding in Chapter 4, trying to build up my levels. Oh, that's not entirely true. I started roaming around the world and fighting the dragons. There's one point in the game you have to go around and fight, I think, 7 different dragons, one for each of the elements. So that's where I am now. I've killed one of those and trying to use those dragons to grind levels at the same time.
Nice.
But I haven't touched it much. Because I've mostly been playing Tropical Freeze, and also I'm back in Animal Crossing New Leaf because it's March, and the last few bugs and stuff suddenly become available in March. So I started playing, and I caught the last 2 fish, I think it is. 3 fish. The last 3 fish, 2 or 3 fish, and the last crab. There's a crab in the ocean that you dive for. It's the spider crab.
Spider crab. Right.
So
cool.
I got that, and I already had all the bugs because I got the last bug in December, I think. So I've got all the bugs, all the fishing, all the diving, all the fossils. The only thing left is paintings, and art, just art in general, and like if I want to finish my catalog of stuff. And I still have not had Gracie show up 4 times.
Wow.
She still has not shown up 4 times, so I still don't have the last
shop upgrade. Oh,
and
wow.
All my friends have it, and they've had it for months, and I don't know why Gracie doesn't like me.
What did you do to Gracie? Like, what did you call? Did you call her something when she was there last time?
I don't know. Long neck, I think it was.
Well, all right.
Yeah. So that's a bummer. And that's pretty much it. I've been playing some. There's this game called Doctor Who Legacy on. I think it's on iOS, but it's on Android as well.
Right.
And it's like a free to play match 3 puzzle game, but it's also an RPG where you fight monsters you travel through time and you fight monsters from episodes of Doctor Who. So you travel. So the premise is that these enemies in the game have found a way to travel in time, and the Suntarans, the Suntaran fleet, it has found a way to travel through time, and they are going to all these places where you made things right in the past and messing it up. So you have to go to each of these episodes, old episodes of Doctor Who, and fight all the enemies off, and by doing that through puzzles. It's kind of like Puzzle Quest. Reminds me of Puzzle Quest,
Right.
On some level. And I think 2 or 3 episodes in, and each episode has like multiple stages and waves and stuff. And I think it's been fine.
I've never heard of that one. I'll have to check it out. Not that I know anything about the series, so it would probably all be lost on me.
It would. There's a lot of. All the characters are from the series, and it looks like it's all modern Doctor Who. It doesn't look like it has anything relating to classic Doctor Who, which is kind of a bummer. But it is what it is, and it's free to play. So
interesting. Cool.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I can think of that I've been playing this week.
Nice. Okay, well, what I've been playing this week, I've been playing lots of PS4 stuff like usual, blah, blah, blah. I won't bore you guys with it. Playing Thief, playing Strider, playing some other stuff, which has been great. Playing there. Actually, this is really cool. I'll talk about it here, even though it's not a Nintendo game. Okay. The latest PlayStation Plus game out, or PlayStation Plus game came out, and it's called what, Zombie Nation Apocalypse Edition or something like that. And it has a mode in it where if you're broadcasting on Twitch, that game on Twitch, you can select the Broadcast Plus mode from the game when you play it. And everybody in your Twitch chat room can then affect the game while you're playing it. So they can make it easier, give you ammo, give you weapons, or they can make it harder, like cause zombies to spawn or take away your abilities. So I've been playing a fair bit of that. One night I was playing it, and I think I had 5 or 6 people in the chat room that were all really evil people that were just making it so difficult for me to play. And it was so much fun. Oh yeah, sorry, not Zombie Nation, Dead Nation. Thanks, Trey Too Fast. I know Zombie Nation did not sound right. But I've been playing a heck of a lot of that, and it is so much fun. So I'm hoping to do more streaming of that over the weekend. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, please come by and vote to make my life more difficult. That is okay. So I've been playing that. But I am playing Bravely Default on my 3DS. So all it took was public shaming by tweets by the Tony Sadowski publicly shamed me on Twitter, and then I had to actually start it up. So I've been playing some Bravely Default and enjoying the heck out of it. It's been
the HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah, it's
the Canadian favorite way of saying it.
Exactly. It is really, really good. The story's great. The animation is amazing.
Isn't it?
Like the intro animation where you have to like put your card down or put your manual down or point it at something, and then just this little action, AR action, like little movie thing takes place, and it's just like, oh, that's really cool. I don't like having to move my stuff all around, but yay, thanks for putting that in there, Square Enix. It was pretty cool. But then the rest of the stuff is really good too. Lots of kind of adult humor in it, a lot of innuendos, which is really kind of surprising. I didn't expect that at all. So I've been laughing along with that, and yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, Bravely Default. I'm playing it, even though I didn't finish the demo completely. I just said screw it and just went right into it and started playing it. So I'm loving it. So that's Bravely Default. That's what I've been playing.
Cool.
No comments. No comments.
I think it's great. I think it's great that you're finally playing it.
No, about damn time.
Well, yeah, it is about time. But yeah, I'm just glad you're playing it. I don't want to like spoil like too much for you. I mean, I already mentioned the dragons and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's I think it's a really cool game.
It's been getting a lot of buzz across. Not just Nintendo fanboys, but a lot of people all over the net have been talking a lot of really good stuff about it. So I'm glad.
Yeah, Adam Raffles asking if it's worth it for someone who's not a super fan. I think, yeah.
I haven't played a turn-based RPG, but this one is more real-time. I guess it's turn-based battles, but you can make it almost real-time just by speeding it up to ×4, which make the battles go by so quick. It's good. It's a lot of people are saying it's the best JRPG to come out in years and years and years. So I haven't played that far, so I can't comment on it. But for the first couple hours, I kind of agree with that. It's really a lot of fun. The street pass, the everything to do with it is just really well done. The ability to send characters to other people's games and grab characters from other people's games for assistance, all that stuff. It's really, really well done, and I'm glad I'm playing it.
Yeah, when I was at work today and I was talking to a friend of mine who I work with, who is also playing Bravely Default, and he has added me as a friend in Bravely Default, and he has me as you can pair yourself up with one of your online friends.
Oh, really?
So that they become a summon.
How far do you have to be to get that? Because I don't think I've gotten to that yet. Do you have to have?
I don't know.
I
think it was
4 characters and get into the meat of the quests to have that up here.
Maybe I thought it was there from the beginning, but I don't remember a time when it wasn't there. But
maybe I'm just maybe I'm not reading. That could be my problem. I should do that because you're probably level 7 billion and you could just kill everything with one hit.
That's actually kind of how it happens. What happens is you grab another player. So, like, for example, you could grab my character and pair them up with one of your characters. So what happens is, like, maybe your Tiz or whatever, and then my Tiz. So you'll have Tiz, and then my Tiz will be linked to yours, and you will have all of my Tiz's abilities. So, like, all the spells that he's learned, all of that stuff are suddenly available to you because you have that kind of, like, synergy with that other character. So you can get, like, I have a bunch of, all my characters are level 14, have level 14 jobs in, like, multiple classes. So it's like, it's very cool. Prometheus says,
so is that the summon menu item? You just choose summon?
No, it's different from that, but you can also summon other people's characters.
I don't seem to have anything in my game like that. It must be something that's unlocked later. Like I said, I've been exploring a lot and doing stuff, but I'm only about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours in, so I'm not super far at all.
Okay. When you're in there and you open that little slide out menu on the left side, the second item down, I think it looks like a wagon or something like that. Those are quests. If you go in there, it's a list of tutorial quests.
Yeah, I've done the 7 of the tutorial quests that I have access to.
Keep doing them. Keep doing all of them as they become available. And it will teach you how to set up all of these things as it goes along, which is very cool.
Nice.
And they give you...
Let me open up my my quests and see if I have any new ones. No, I'm still at 6 of 50 completed. So I guess I don't have that option yet.
Prometheus has a question there.
Prometheus, Nintendo Pulse. Yes, that is the podcast you're listening to. Thanks, Prometheus, for that great question. Oh, you have more. How does Bravely Default carry on the tradition of Final Fantasy other than, for example, the job classes? This game started as a Final Fantasy game. It was a sequel to, was it the Crystal Bearers or something? Is that the name of the series?
4 Warriors of Light, I think.
4 Warriors of Light. So it started as a sequel to that and then became something different. It has kind of your standard Final Fantasy things, same kind of job classes. You can have your white mage, your black mage, your red mage, your thief, your fighter, all that type of stuff. The cool thing with this game is you can choose your classes as you go, and you can kind of swap them in and out as you need. You don't have to choose a character class and kind of stick with it. You can kind of bounce all over the map if that's how you want to play the game. It also has the same items, so you can get your Phoenix Downs and your antidotes and your eye drops and your potions and all that other fun stuff that you would get in Final Fantasy. Basically all that stuff is there. It's essentially everything to do with the item system is Final Fantasy like. All your weapons, all your summons, all your magic. I mean, like you do fire and blizzard and lightning and Faraga and Blizzaga and all those great Final Fantasy spell names are even the same. So it is essentially a Final Fantasy that is not a Final Fantasy, which is weird because all of the Final Fantasy stuff is all different. It's not like it's one universe, one time, one anything. It kind of all takes place all over the place. So they could have done all this stuff as well. So it's great. I mean, if you like Final Fantasy at all ever, Prometheus, you'll probably really dig this game as well.
I agree. I mean, not just the best RPG. People are saying, people are saying it's the best RPG in years. I don't know, it's the best Final Fantasy I've played since Final Fantasy VI. I think it's
Nice.
better than 7, 8, 9, any of the ones after that I've played. So it's just polished to a shine. I mean, the fact that you can tune everything in the game, you can control the speed of the battles, you can turn off random battles if you don't feel like dealing with them, or if you're almost dead and you need to get back to town. It's so good to the player.
Yeah, that's one thing that I keep forgetting. You don't ever get stuck in a dungeon where you're basically screwed. You can basically turn all your encounter rates all the way down and make your way out. I mean that's great. You turn your encounter rates all the way up and you're grinding. While you still have to grind, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk in circles for 5 minutes before you get a random battle. It's like every couple seconds you're getting a random battle, and then you put your attacks on auto, and you put your fast forward to 4, and you're basically just raking in the money and experience because it's so quick. It's really good. Really good, really good, really good.
Yeah, very, very good.
Awesome. Well, let's get more into the show. We have an email today, Steven.
We do.
And this email is from Brandon. And it goes, great show, guys. I never miss an episode, even if it takes you 5 minutes to get things rolling in each episode. I think it took us more of about 25 minutes this episode, Brandon. So hopefully you're still here and you heard your question. So there's a lot of bloviating from the press and shareholders on what Nintendo should do to fix things. Most of it is nonsense, including placing their valuable IP onto mobile. But I do think Nintendo needs to make some serious changes, including replacing Iwata. He put that in brackets. I completely agree that the Wii U was a massive branding mistake. If they could turn back time, I'm sure they would have named it something else. But even with that awful name, I think they would still be struggling. So what are your serious opinions on what Nintendo should do to turn things around in the next 5 years, particularly for the struggling Wii U? This is basically if I were running the country kind of question. Looking forward to your thoughts from Brandon. So, Steven, what would you do? You're now the supreme ruler and overlord of Nintendo. What do you do to fix things?
It depends how you define fix. If Nintendo wants to have a console that's going to sell the way the Wii did, they're going to have to go like way out into left field with something very strange that the other consoles aren't doing. And it's really kind of too late for that. They kind of had to have that out the gate. So there's really no way, I think, for Wii U to turn this around, because the only way they could get more of the market, the only way they can really get more of the market than they're already going to get, which would be like the people who want to play Nintendo games, would be if they could get third-party games on the platform. And they're not going to be able to do that because the third parties have already given up and they have no reason to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, third parties would be there if Nintendo would have sold 10 million Wii U's. Like if there was a huge
like what
number.
happened with the Wii.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the only thing that they could do to save the Wii U itself, I think Nintendo will be fine. Nintendo could make money selling portable versions of Mario and Zelda and Metroid and all their other franchises forever on whatever iteration of their handheld it is out at that time, and they'd still make money, and they would have a really good source of income that way. If they want to save the Wii U, they got to start taking a loss on hardware. They got to like say, okay, we want this to be a viable platform for more than just Nintendo published titles, and drop it to like $179. Like do something ridiculous and get people to buy into it, because the PS4 and the Xbox One are kicking the butt of Nintendo in graphics, in sound, in network connectivity, in features, in accessories, in everything. Like if you have a list, and it's all set up separate in columns, and you have PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo, you have a couple check marks in the Wii U box, and everything else is all check marked in all the other two boxes, because they're doing everything that gamers want. I think Nintendo's still living in a world where they think they know best, and it's like, well, we think games should be this. Well, there's so many gamers out there now that they don't need someone to tell them what they should like. There's enough ways to get games now where people can pick and choose what they actually do like. And I think that's where like PlayStation 4 is great. Like I turn on my PS4, I start a game, I hit share, I'm broadcasting my game on Twitch. That's built into the console. Meanwhile, Nintendo's trying to get fighting game tournaments to not use Smash Brothers. They're trying to get content taken off of YouTube. They're trying to monetize other people's content that they put up on YouTube. They just don't understand what people are doing these days, that it's just as valid for someone to want to spend 8 hours watching someone beat a game than it is for someone to want to go buy that game and beat it themselves. The market has changed enough in the last 10 years where like that there's just stuff. Like I don't understand why people want to watch me play games, but whenever I hit stream, there's a couple people sitting in there watching me play whatever game I'm playing, and I don't really understand that, but that's okay. I don't have to understand everything that is popular. It's just that's what's popular. So I think they need to listen a little bit more to what the market is doing right now. They need to drop the price like crazy, and try to push it out there. If they're not really so hyped on getting the Wii U to win, quote unquote win, they can just keep coming out with more consoles in the future and keep selling like I don't know, single digit millions of these, with selling millions of each of the games that Nintendo publishes, and that'll be a good future for them. But I just don't think it's going to be a good future for a lot of the consumers out there.
Yeah. In terms of, working with what they have, I think that Nintendo's best bet is to expand their developer base. They need to have more people working at Nintendo making these games, and that's what they've been doing. They've been growing their development teams. They've been, working with second and third parties more to co-develop stuff. Like that Hyrule Warriors thing just does not look appealing, but it's an example of that kind of a thing. Because I think they know that this generation is a wash in terms of getting the third party games, because it's obvious that this is going to be the PS4 is going to take this generation. If they could make the consoles faster, they'd be selling them faster. But neither of the other two are going to get anywhere. Microsoft looks like they're on the brink of going and selling off the brand, selling off the Xbox brand entirely, and it's like it's gonna be Sony way out in front and Nintendo selling Nintendo games on Nintendo's hardware, which is what we saw in the PS2 generation to some extent, as well, and we definitely saw it in the N64 generation as well. So
no, I fully agree. And if Nintendo really wants to print money like right now, they come out with the Virtual Console, which is something that runs on everything. You can get it for your PC, you can get it for your iOS tablet, you can get it for your Android tablet, you can get it on all your consoles, you can get it on your Apple TV, like get it on everything. And it would be iTunes for old Nintendo games, and have 99-cent NES games, 99-cent Game Boy games, all the way up to like say $2.99 for some of the later games, and just sell games that way. If you want to print as much money as you could possibly ever print, that would be the way to do it. Just make it super easy to get every single game that has ever come out on Nintendo. Have an easy sign up form for developers to say, "Yep, I own the rights to this, 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 and this. I want to put it on your platform." They check a box, boom, it's on there. There's a revenue share from whoever owns the rights. Nintendo gets a bit. It would that would be the easiest way for Nintendo to print as much money as they want to print. I don't see Nintendo ever doing that because they feel that 99 cents is too cheap for a game. They want you to pay $5 for an NES game because bits somehow have some sort of value in these days, which is so off the mark. It's not even funny. But that goes back to us saying that Nintendo really doesn't understand what the market is now. I mean, they're similar to record execs were when iTunes came out. It's like all this easy access to music came out, and they're like, we feel people should go to a store and buy the whole album, and that's the way music is. That's how it was in my day, and that's how it should always ever be. But the market has changed. The people want to buy one song off an album. They don't want to buy the whole album anymore. And it took a long time for record execs and the big labels to really get that. And they still don't get it. But iTunes changed the whole industry. Nintendo needs to kind of think maybe that way a little bit, because there's a lot of other companies that are starting to think that way. I mean, just look at Sony, look at their game sales. Like, I could go on PSN right now and I could buy every one of like the Need for Speeds right now for $5. And you look on the eShop, and a lot of games that came out at the Wii U launch are still $60 on the eShop, which is absolutely ridiculous. But
it is ridiculous, yeah.
But that's the way Nintendo does it. So they need to, like you said, Brandon, they need to change. I don't know if replacing Iwata is a solution, but probably couldn't hurt because he has some strong views, I think. But it's a very Japanese company that's steeped in I don't know. It's just they have a Nintendo philosophy, and they don't want to stray from that, because that's just the way it's always done. It's a tradition, right? They need to change some of that if they want to be a player in, like, say, the next console generation. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, anything to add? I kind of spouted a lot there, Stephen. I'm sorry for taking over the talk.
No, it's cool. We're doing this together. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to that. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I just think, just, to summarize, I think that this generation in terms of third-party support is done. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that the Wii U is going to do fine. Nintendo is going to end up turning a profit on it. They'll eventually have enough games that are selling like crazy. That's going to happen with Smash Brothers. We know that. It's going to happen with Mario Kart. We know that. But the next Mario game that comes out will probably sell well, and the console base is going to grow over time, but it's never going to catch up to the PS4.
No, that ship's already sailed. Nintendo didn't want to take a loss on the console to begin with, and that really hurt them. I saw, where was it?
It's on. I mean, it depends how you look at it, because it hurt them in terms of install base, and it will continue to hurt them in terms of install base.
Yeah,
and you could also make the argument, though, that every time Sony sells one of these PS4s, they're losing a significant amount of money, and Sony is bleeding themselves dry now with that loss.
Yeah.
So unless they actually start selling enough software to make up that difference, Sony's going to die. They're going to kill themselves with this strategy if they don't if they don't come up with the software fast enough where they can make the money on it.
Yeah.
They're not in as bad of a situation as Microsoft, because Microsoft isn't really moving the consoles either.
Yeah.
So they have neither the hardware or the software. But it's like, I think it remains to be seen where these companies end up financially. I think Nintendo is in the best shape of the three, but in terms of just the the install base and the generation, it's not going to be a win for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw this week, I think it was Future Shop. They had the Skylanders version of the Wii U console on for about $200. And I just saw a tweet come by like seconds ago where Nintendo was selling refurbished Wii U consoles on their website for $200. So maybe there's going to be a price drop coming in the future. Maybe dropping it down to $199 is the way to do it. But I think Nintendo gambled and lost with the Wii U, and they need to ride it out for a couple of years and then come out with whatever the next big thing is. Nobody wants to pay extra for a tablet that isn't as good as a $99 Android tablet you can buy at like Costco or Sam's Club. And that's essentially what you're getting with the Wii U. You're getting a single touch, only usable when you're in the house, right by your console thing, where if it would have been like an iPad that also syncs up to your console, I mean, that would have been a much better way to go. So, I mean, they tried and it didn't work. So maybe the best bet for them for now is just ride it for a couple of years and then come out with whatever the next Wii console is, and hopefully don't call it a Wii. Call it something else.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get into the meat of the show. Brandon, thanks for sending in that email. If you want to send in your own question, thought, comment, or whatever, you can do that at vgpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll hopefully answer it in a future episode of the podcast. All right. Well, let's jump right into the news. The first up is it's an article from MCV UK, the market for computer and video games. Interesting. The article that I linked to is not the article that I wanted to get to. Let's see if it's redirecting properly now. Well, sorry, that is not going to work. I had a better article, and I guess this was linked off that article, and I saved this one by accident. Basically, it was saying that the 3DS software sales are up year over year. Because there was an article that came out earlier this year that said that even though Nintendo's winning the handheld war, their software sales are way down. And there was a really great article that I don't have access to, so I apologize to everybody for wasting their time. This one doesn't link back to it. I'm really kind of confused as to what happened here.
Yeah, it's going to weird. Smartphone games account for 75% of app stores.
Yeah, because I was reading this article just earlier today even.
Trade buzz.
Bizarre. All right, well, let's move on. I'll see if I can find the original, and we'll get back to it if I can. Remember last week when we talked about that crazy Toys R Us promotion about free Pokemon X or Y? And we was like, oh, I don't know. It could be real. It could just be someone making stuff up. Turns out it is real. So if you go to the Club Nintendo right now, they have a nice graphic up where if you buy a 3DS XL, Nintendo 3DS XL, and one of the 6 or 5 games actually, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario 3D Land, Animal Crossing New Leaf, Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, Lego City Undercover The Chase, or Yoshi's New Island. So any of those games between March 1st and the end of March, I believe. Yep. If you register a new console and one of those games between in the month of March sometime, you will get a free download code for either Pokemon X or Pokemon Y. So buy a console or handheld in this case, buy a game and get one of the best selling games of last year for free. Pretty damn good deal from Nintendo.
I think so too.
Any thoughts on that? Do you think it's surprising that they would be giving it away so soon?
No, because I think that, well, yes and no. No, because I think that with the 3DS being as strong as it has been and having the install base that it's had, I think the Pokemon X and Y sales probably already happened starting in October of last year.
Right.
Yes, because Pokemon's kind of their biggest deal. It makes sense to use your smash hit game to move consoles and other games. But it's not something we usually see Nintendo do. That's more of something that we see from someone like Sony.
Yeah.
You know, they have a big game come out and they say, here, buy this and get this other thing.
Well, it's more, actually, that's more like what Nintendo's or what Microsoft is doing with Titanfall. Buy this.
Now they're doing it too. Yeah.
Buy this thing and you get this free game, which everybody wants. So buy the console now and you'll get the game for free. They also have another promotion on where if you buy a console in the US that isn't the Titanfall bundle, you'll get Forza for free, which is their driving game. So that's weird because that's a newer console. This makes sense because they want to push it. But normally it would be buy a console and this new game, which is hot right now, and we'll give you one of these older games that you probably already have copies of, unless this is the first time you've ever bought a 3DS. And so it's weird that it's kind of the other way, where buy console, buy one of these older games, except for Yoshi's New Island, which comes out on the 14th, and you get this hot new game for free. So bizarre.
How cool would it be if 6 months from now Nintendo was selling Wii U consoles for $300 and saying, buy a Wii U console and get one of these 5 games for free? Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Brothers Wii U, Super Mario 3D World, Tropical Freeze, or Pikmin 3 or something like that. They throw out those 5 games. Get one of those for free if you buy the console.
Yeah. No, I think that would be good, except you'd have to replace the $300 price point with a $200 price point, and then you have something.
You think so?
Yeah.
With the game itself being worth $60, then you got a $140 console.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Because to Nintendo, the game's free.
Yeah.
They already paid the development for it. They want people to have the consoles to play it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing. This is awesome. Like I said earlier before we started recording, I still have my daughter's 3DS XL code that I haven't entered in Club Nintendo. So I'll be buying Yoshi's New Island. So I'm going to get a free copy of Pokemon. I already have X, so I'll be getting Y. I'll be loading on my daughter's 3DS, and we can have Pokemon battles together. It's going to be awesome, and it's free, which is a really great thing. So I don't know. It's kind of surprising to see them do it. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to take my free game and run, which is a good thing. Awesome.
Yep,
moving on. Sorry, what was that?
Just, it's a good job. It's a good deal.
Yeah, totally. Moving on, Nintendo announced a new special edition of a 3DS XL, and this is the Yoshi's New Island 3DS XL, which is a nice green one with Yoshi on the front. It comes with a copy of Yoshi's New Island, I believe.
No, it does not.
No, it does not. So there you go. You buy your new Yoshi's New Island game. You buy the Yoshi's New Island 3DS XL, and then you get a free copy of Pokemon to play on it. It's like win-win-win for everybody, especially Nintendo.
It's cute.
Yeah, it looks really cute. It's Yoshi with an egg behind him. Eggs are always chasing Yoshi. I don't get it. They really like him. He must have a magnetic butt.
They want to get back in him.
Yeah, I guess so.
They want to go home.
So yeah, check it out. I'll post links to it in the show notes. All right. Another Yoshi story came out, which is kind of funny.
Yoshi story.
That is a game.
But see what you did there.
When you first start up Yoshi's new island for the first time, unlike most Nintendo things that warn you about all the different hazards, like don't throw your system at your head, do not try to catch it in your teeth when you throw it up in the air like popcorn. Usually it's warnings like that are just like, duh, can I just skip all this stuff? But in this game, a new little pop-up comes up, which has never happened in a Nintendo title before, at least not that I can ever think of. And the first thing you get is shared gameplay data with Nintendo. We will use this info to help develop future games. And the yes or no on the touchscreen. Really different. Nintendo makes all the best joy in the world, so it's really kind of odd for them to be asking for your gameplay data in a game like this. So I guess Yoshi's New Island probably has a lot of different game modes and maybe mini games and other things, and they want to see, what are people actually playing with this stuff? And they want you to share your data with them while you start the game. So kind of a weird departure from how Nintendo normally is. They're usually pretty solid that they make all the best fun in the world. So maybe this is the first step of Nintendo wanting to listen to the consumers a little bit more.
Yeah, they want to see how people play their game.
Yeah. If you know, it would have been perfect if Nintendo would have had a system-wide achievement / trophy system. They would know exactly how people play games because they could look at all the achievements that have been unlocked.
Yeah.
So another example of not following the Joneses has maybe cost them some great analytics data that they could have looked at and said, only 5% of people actually beat all of the worlds in this Mario game. Maybe we want to change the world structure or something.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe this is the first step in that direction, and I welcome it. Anything that makes Nintendo get better at developing games is a good thing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Nintendo listening to customers sounds like a good idea to me.
And it also sounds really bizarre.
Yes. It's like, what planet are we on?
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Let's move on. The UK is getting something really, really, really cool. And this is posted on Nintendo of Europe's Twitter page. And that is the Mario Kart 8 limited edition bundle. It comes with the game, and it comes with this awesome spiny shell trophy statue thing. It looks so cool.
Yep.
I really want it, but it's only been announced so far for the UK. Do you think this is going to come to North America, Steven?
I don't know, but it'd be cool if it did.
I agree fully with you. Sorry, I was taking a drink. And
I'm like looking at it now. It's like, that is, even the box is pretty.
yeah, it looks really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get a copy of the game, and you get a nice little statue of a blue turtle shell that we all hate. Everybody hates. No one likes the blue turtle shell, but I like it enough where I'd want to have it somewhere on a shelf behind me while I do a podcast. That would be a good thing.
Yep. I would change my pre-order. My Mario Kart 8 pre-order to include this if I could.
Nice. So yeah, there's a closer look at it for everybody that's watching the live stream. It's this huge statue, which looks really, really cool. Sweet. All right, moving on. What's next? Oh yeah, a couple, or I guess a game announcement, which is a big game announcement, and that is that I guess indie darling on the Vita, Guacamelee, has finally been announced that it's coming to a bunch of different consoles. So it's currently on the Vita and the PlayStation 3, and it's a cross-buy. So if you own one, you own the other, which was really kind of nice.
It's also on Steam.
And it's on Steam as well. That's right. That's a new thing. That just happened last week or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty.
Steam for PC and Mac.
That's right. So it's been on a couple platforms, which is great. They announced yesterday, actually, that it is going to be coming to the Wii U, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Xbox 360 as Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. And if you've played the game, that makes more sense to you than probably people that haven't played the game. This game, you are a luchador, and it's a Metroidvania, so you gain different powers, which are different wrestling moves to basically defeat the ultimate bad guy in this world. You can turn into a chicken in this game to get into small areas as well, which is kind of cool.
That's that feature you've been asking for years, Lloyd.
I want that in every game, actually. So come on, developers, make it so.
Yes.
But the cool thing about this game is as you explore it, there's posters in the background that they kind of ape sort of the arts from old Super Nintendo games. So you could see like the like Street Fighter, the attract screen for Street Fighter 2, where you have basically the guy going up to another guy and then does that huge uppercut, and then it scrolls up on the tower. Well, there's a poster in one of the levels where this guy gives another guy a big uppercut. Then there's like a tower of a building. A lot of the text in there is all referencing old like 16 and 8-bit games and arcade games. Really awesome. And now it's really great that it's coming to the Wii U. I think this would be a perfect fit for the Wii U because you could play it on the gamepad and you could play it on your TV as well. It's a really great game and something that I'm really happy to be seeing on the eShop.
Yep, I'll probably pick it up on the Wii U when it comes out. I have it on Steam because it was recently part of a Humble Bundle.
Right.
And I grabbed that bundle because of Guacamelee. And now that this Super Turbo Championship Edition is going to be coming out, I'll pay, all the additional features they added into it, new levels and things like that, new stages, they said. So
yeah, all the DLC that was in the PlayStation 3 and Vita edition is going to be part of this. So
yeah,
it's such a great game. I played it on my Vita and loved the hell out of it. Maybe almost enough to play it again on the Wii U. We'll see.
Yeah, and it's got additional stuff in it. So
exactly.
Way to go.
Cool. Another great indie game coming to the Wii U, which is a good thing. On top of, like, I don't know, was it Shovel Knight?
Shovel Knight?
was going to say Shovel Bros, but I knew that was wrong, so I didn't say it. Shovel Knight, 90s Arcade Racer. There's a whole bunch of great stuff.
Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9. Yeah, there's some really great indie stuff coming to the Wii U, so I'm really excited about that.
Yep.
All right, let's get into our last news story. We didn't really cover this when it was happening, which is kind of odd. I think it's something we should have covered, but it just got lost in the shuffle. And that was Twitch Plays Pokemon. So if you're not familiar, you probably were under a rock. But I will give you the benefit of the doubt and let you know what it was. Basically, some guy set up an emulator. He hooked it into the comment system on Twitch and basically had a massively multiplayer online version of Pokemon. The difference being that it was everybody playing the same game, not everybody playing their own game. So you would have 100 people in the chat room trying to make Ash walk around and get into battles and choose the right Pokemon and choose the moves. You had people that were there only to screw it up. So you'd have people that were making Ash fall off of the pathway. So there's this one big pathway in the game. I can't remember what it's called, but you can fall off the side. So there'd be people that were just like sitting there waiting for you to get partway up the mountain, and then they make you fall off. And people were just having fun with it. They beat Pokemon, which I've never even done. They beat Pokemon Blue on the original Game Boy. It took them 16 days, 7 hours, and 45 minutes and 30 seconds of gameplay. The peak for the number of people in the chat in the chat room playing the game at one time was 121,000 people. 121,000 people. Like, that just, I don't understand that. That's crazy. They issued more than 122 million commands. There was more than 9 million people that just watched that didn't issue a command. So that's 9 million unique people, which is crazy. They had more than 36 million views over the 16 days that this was running. And that equals out to more than 1 billion minutes watched of people playing Pokemon. So ridiculous. It was so ridiculous that after it got really popular, they had to actually change the system. Before, it could be just anybody could do anything. So there's like up, down, left, right, A, B, start. Everybody was doing all that stuff. Then people could come in and just screw it up just by spamming the same stuff. There was actually people that wrote spam bots to sort of like kill the game. So they wrote these bots that were sitting in the chat room trying to make bad things happen. So the developers actually added an anarchy and a democracy system. So you could say a direction or a button press, or you could say anarchy or democracy. And if the meter is tilted more to democracy, more people have to select a thing before it's a valid input that would go in. But if it was back to anarchy, people could do whatever the hell they want. And it was just like amazing to see this little like community develop over 100,000 people playing Pokemon at the exact same time. Just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they beat Pokemon. It's crazy. And starting last Saturday, they actually started up a copy of Pokemon Crystal. So it's going again. And they're probably going to be trying to play all of them. It took them 22 tries to beat the Elite Four and 2 tries to beat Blue, which is that's a thing. So, yeah, I don't know. Anything to add, Steven? Did you watch any of this?
No, I didn't. I heard about it while it was happening. Not being a big fan of Pokemon, it didn't seem particularly compelling to me. But as an experiment and as a concept, I think it's really kind of neat. I heard most of the details about it, about how with the anarchy and democracy thing from that IGN Nintendo podcast.
Okay,
just a couple days ago. So I heard about that, and I thought that was a great idea. Great way to keep it kind of under control a little bit.
Yeah.
Or out of control.
Or out of
That's
control.
What people wanted.
Exactly. It was ridiculous. I watched one of the first attempts that they made on the final four, or the Elite Four, and it made me really angry that the menu kept popping up and they're using the same item over and over and over again. They're using like an HM05. It's like, you can't use it. Stop. No, don't get out of the menu. No, what are you doing? No, stop. Don't choose that guy. He's terrible. And I'm just like, wow, this makes me really angry. I couldn't watch this. But there were people, there was religions and memes that were created over this, which is just, Absolutely ridiculous. And there's a petition on the government site to have the U.S. government officially recognize March 1st as Helix Day, which is one of the religions that have popped up over this time.
Wow.
It's crazy. This is a thing. And so much so that this has potentially changed Twitch for maybe the better. This thing broke Twitch. The chat system died multiple times. They had to actually put Twitch Plays Pokemon on their own chat server, and even that was causing problems on the Twitch network. And after this became a thing that was successful, Twitch basically came out and said they think that there might actually be a future in this as a thing where multiple people are playing the same game as a streaming service or something. So instead of like getting like an OnLive, it's something like OnLive, but for multiple people to play the same game online. So this has kind of changed the industry. Maybe not at all, but it's at least gotten some people's some brains thinking about certain things that could be done. There's already been a couple copies. There was people playing other games. Can't recall what the games were. People put up some of their own channels, but none of them got as popular as Twitch Plays Pokemon because Pokemon's pretty popular. So interesting,
it is
weird thing that happened in the last couple weeks.
It's neat. This could spawn a whole new genre of game.
It could, for sure, which is pretty darn interesting.
Yep.
Cool. So I guess we'll leave Twitch Plays Pokemon, and we'll also leave the show for this week. Steven, thanks again for joining me for yet another Nintendo Pulse podcast.
It was a good time, had by all.
It was a good time, and it was had by 15 people, and then when it gets on the RSS feed, it will be had by all.
Well, how many people download the show?
More than 15 and less than the number of people that play Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Okay.
Let's listen to Donkey Kong. Does this bring back any memories, Steven? Are you angry now? Do you want to throw your microphone through your screen?
No. Okay. No, I've been enjoying it the last few times I've played it.
That's good.
You know, it's like one of the interesting things is once I get to that point in the game where I can play it and be frustrated, but still play it and it'll be difficult, but I won't get frustrated and I'll have fun with the difficulty. Mm-hmm. I kind of tend to stay there.
That's good.
It's like once I realize I can have fun losing,
once you like something, you tend to like it.
Yeah, I tend to stay liking it. Nice. That happened with Beautiful Joe too, with the Beautiful Joe games. Nice. They're very, very difficult. They're very challenging, but they're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun. The rewind was kind of just it broke my brain when that first came in. I'm like, what? I can rewind these battles? This is crazy.
Yep. Zoomed in red hot 100s are my favorite. They just break everything.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Okay, I'm gonna restart the music because it went a little long. Yeah, let us know what you think of the show. Head on over to vgpodcast.com. Click contact us at the top of the page, or you can click us if you want. Your choice.
I don't mind being clicked.
Steven enjoys being clicked, so
yes.
Do all your clicking on Steven. vgpodcast@gmail.com's our email. vgpodcast.com/forums is our forums, and we also have a voicemail line if you want to leave us a voicemail and that we can play in a future episode of the show, which is 505 VG Podcast is the phone number. Ken and Shane just pre-ordered a copy of the Blue Shell edition of Mario Kart 8, so we can all collectively hate him right now. I'll give it a second for all the hate to sink in. All right, there it is. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to yet another episode of the Nintendo Pulse podcast. We'll have another show for you in about a week's time. Steven, again, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll talk to you guys in about a week. Later, everybody.